We are currently struggling at that point, or is that and that possible? What these guys tell me, is that really the future? These answers we can give from a backward perspective because we did it already, hopefully some months up front. So let's have that view into the future, but let's start with the past. And we started 2011 with that journey, and the first step really was getting in touch with cloud concept. And that is still something we have to really understand. Where is the benefit and why is not everything just running smoothly to somewhere you have it safe and secure in your pocket or on your systems somewhere in the company. And I can remember these times where we really didn't understand the concept of having something in the cloud. And the first things was to teach and enable the company also how this looks like. And it all turned out with the first productive application in the Fiori Launchpad. We make that available, the Fiori Launchpad, and a lot of colleagues ask, hey, what is that now? For what? We have the internal portal, and there you have access to everything. But now you were able to really directly access transactional applications with just a fingertip on any device. So at the same time, it started also the mobile story, and we have a very, very strong internal mobile and mobilization story with really having the whole office and your work in the pocket and able to do everything from these devices, no matter at which situation where you are. And that helped a lot during the pandemic just to continue working, because we were on that journey a long time ago already. And then we started, and we'll come to that in a second, really a center of excellence for that topic. So platform as the platform gameplay, let's say, as a center of excellence, and I will share you some insights why this is helpful. And in early years already, it helped to have this central guideline approach and in the same time enable colleagues to do something freely. And that's sometimes sounds contradictory, but it is working. And it's needed. You need a strong governance. Also, I can come to that. And on the same time, you need that flexibility, especially in that citizen developer and no-code approach that we are currently in. With that, we come up with the first strategy that implements a cloud-first strategy. And I think we are again in such a discussion when we talk about RISE. On a large enterprise scale level, we have that traditional runway, and we are in the same time thinking of or installing a second runway, which is more on standardization and a second system. How can that fit together? And at a certain point, you have to do a prioritization in your strategy, in your investment, in all the things you are doing with a cloud first, in that sense, a cloud first approach, or now with RISE, really to have the break point. You still do the old things, but you invest and you concentrate and focus on the new technology. And in that time, we really started then, first time to implement a new function, first as a cloud offering, a mobile app or something like this, and then implement it in a traditional way in the systems the people are used to run. And with the upcoming then of the business technology platform, there's always abbreviations here, BTP, the business technology platform, and all the runtimes within that, we directly implemented that and get this technology to our colleagues so they can use it. And that was super important, to get in touch with new concepts and shift that the technology offerings, and really roll out also an account structure in that new environment in a decentralized way with several accounts. I also will explain you how we did that. That helps our colleagues, and that is really a success story. Currently deploying and providing more than 400 internal applications within SAP for more than 100,000 employees. They are using these tools day to day, and they are designed and made to run especially in that environment. And with the Fiori Launchpad giving access to these applications, we have a phenomenal number of more than 100,000 clicks per day. per day on the Fiori Launchpad. That also shows the capability of such a system, but also the need and the usability for the employees, that they can directly really access all these applications through a single technology. And that is really inspiring, because we have more than 500 developers within the company using and developing on these account structure, which is not just the dedicated people, but everybody has a great idea or a certain use case. We enable them with that platform center of excellence and run the central infrastructure, but we enable the whole workforce to develop for SAP. And that's more than 500 developers we have on that accounts, and they have more than 600 deployments per month, productive deployments that are continuously being deployed through our account structure. And we implemented a similar account structure that we have in our on-premise systems. We have a test system, a development system where you can really freely try out everything. But then it comes to certain capabilities like Cloud Connector, real data plug-in, and then you have to move and deploy to a test instance where you have also anonymized data to try out your application. But for that, you need a strong governance. Who is allowed? What are the prerequisites, and so on and so forth. And then finally to go live. That is a long process, but we established more than 600 live deployment productions per month, because the process for that is standardized and it's well known, and we train and educate our colleagues in that. Take a short glimpse on some of the names we are providing there, and they are so let's say heavy apps, and they are very small helper apps, and both have their right to exist. So let's take, for example, the business partner planning tool. That is really a great tool the colleagues developed to work especially with partners, and the SAP colleagues document there together with our employees, align on their goals, their financial targets, their strategies, and the required activities they have to do, and they all do that in that one app they can all access. Developed on the business technology platform, deployed on the account structure with just a fingertip and the installed processes. So that is a success story. Or take, for example, we have a Flex Connect app, and a lot of customers, when they first heard this app, they want to buy it, but all these apps are not really made to be sold, or they are just small inventions on the business technology platform, and we rather want to help customers to do it like we do it at SAP, and use that platform to develop and deploy small apps that help your daily work, than rather to always have an application you have to buy or something. So the Flex Connect app helps us to stay connected in these post-pandemic hybrid times, to get in contact with each other, to plan your personal day, to find each other again on the campus perhaps, and to use our new Flexwork offerings we have more and more in our offices. So to really structure your work life, that is an app developed by employees, by colleagues, for their colleagues, and deployed on that infrastructure. Or the feedback service app, where is it? Somewhere here, the feedback service, implemented in all applications we are having and directly connected to the Fiori Launchpad, so you are able to give feedback. And since the beginning and the launch in mid-2020 of that application, we got more than 10,000 employee feedbacks via this tool. 10,000 value insights on how these tools are useful or not, what is missing, what is great, encouraging the developers, and so on. Think of 10,000 interactions with your customers, what you can learn. And for us, our employees are our customers in IT, and we want to get in contact with them, connect the developer directly to the user, and you get greatest insight. So that app is and I can have a long story on all of these tools, but it's really a success story that these developers deploy there in that environment. We use software as a service solutions very broadly with SAP Mobile Start right from the start away, or the integration suite. And we use that, for example, applications like Cloud for Real Estate or others, out of the box. We just enable them and as a subscription, and directly use them. So that's also part of the game, not always developing, but using that capability of the business technology platform. In the same time, we are using the full technology stack and frameworks and libraries around that, cloud application programming with CAP, SAP Cloud SDK, SAP Fiori Elements, finance, and they are all instrumental for our development processes. So we enable them as a rich set of tools for inspiring our developers, but also showing them how this technology is intended to be used. We are using all types of runtimes on the BTP services. So, for example, Cloud Foundry, but also ABAP Cloud and Kürma, and they demonstrate our commitment to a truly multi-cloud strategy. We are not focused just to run the business, but also to leverage the technology and enable our people with that. So, all kind of services: HANA Cloud Service, Destination Service, Connectivity Service, Authorization, Trust Management. For those of you who work with the business technology platform, you are well aware what these services are capable of doing. I'm partly aware of what they are doing, so therefore also have to read some of them, but I am aware that we at SAP directly jump on everything what's available, just also to demonstrate what is the value of that service, how can it be used, and to have that interaction and the discussion with you on the technology. We built currently all these, what we established as in a pro-code approach. So they are well-educated developers, and they develop according to a certain need. And we saw that our developers, also all developers at SAP, all employees at SAP, they also need access to no-code solutions. So and the reason is very simple. If we look at that simple graph here, we are traditionally doing all this software development here in an IT organization. They are supposed to deliver all these solutions. The more complex, the more business critical, or the larger the target group is, the better. Then you can run a portfolio process. You can talk about how the investments are running, and then the delivery and all these things. IT is in charge of doing these things and doing it hopefully very good. But we recognized that there's a lot of potential, of opportunities, which we are not addressing yet. So that citizen development approach, they might be not for a large target group. They might be not too business critical, like a feedback service. It's not super critical, but that can be done by a person who is engaged in the topic rather than a full stack developer with a year-long experience in all these kind of coding and so on. They have the right ideas, and they have the passion, and they have the power to develop something. So we have to leverage these opportunities, and then SAP Build come. And we were excited in the internal IT because that is a really functional approach, and we directly start to implement SAP Build in different phases. And I want to share with you how we did that. What we did there is we enabled SAP Build apps. So that is, in a nutshell, creating applications without coding. So just really by drag and drop, by clicking some things together. It's not easy like that, but it is. You don't have to have skills in a certain programming language. That's really a no-code approach. In the same time, we enabled build process automation, which is a graphical tool. You can do your workflows and automation just by a graphical interface, which helps you in a simple drag and drop functionality. And last but not least, SAP Build Workzone, which we also heavily starting to use at SAP, creating beautiful and engaging web pages that really serves as a designated place to share and collect and collaborate at SAP, which actually I think is a follow-up from our further SAP Jam solution. But I'm not a product expert. That is what I currently know. It's super easy. I just use it, and that's the way we want to offer technology. So that are some graphics how this looks like for those who haven't seen that the applications yet. So SAP Build, as I said, it's an environment you can really develop your whole app if you have an understanding how that app should work, and you just bring the functionality together. Yes, of course, you have to learn which menu is doing what, and just not having nothing to do with development. But these citizen developers, they don't have to really learn now large-scale subroutines and all these things and how to define them properly. It's really just by having the idea and putting the things together, for example, also beautiful UIs. And I will show you in a second in a demo how that looks like. And also process automation automation, there's these kind of workflows that is readable and understandable with just a certain knowledge of workflows, not with a knowledge of how to implement them in a concrete way in a technical system. Also that I will show you in a second. And then build work zone were really beautiful workspaces with a lot of functionality, directly can be used and implemented with just a fingertip. So that is also something we have to provide to SAP for our colleagues to use it in a large scale. Now, as promised, a demo. It's always difficult to do a demo if you are not the expert for the tool, and we are here in an environment that could probably also losing internet and all these things. So please excuse me that this is a pre-recorded demo, but it's a real demo. So my colleague Johannes Stehlin did that. He also provided me insights on what you can see here, but it's so super simple that even I understood it, and I can share with you now, and you can see what happens. So let's create a new app. So this app should definitely to be a quiz app, something like this, or a scavenger hunt and so on. And we just edit now fields and put a data variable behind that field and connect it to a database. So in this way, we create all these different fields on a page of that app, a preview, a value that is now shown here, information title, and then these boxes with some information. So it's easy to design, first of all, of that mobile application to look like, the UI. Just by clicking how you would expect it and connecting it to the right data. And in the next step, we will add some logic to that. So let's, for example, take that start button here and put there an event. It should open a new page. So that's a navigation thing to open a new page. Then we have to choose which page. So it's the information page. When you start the start button, it starts with the information page. And then you connect just the output of the tab event to the input of the navigation event, and that's it. Now you programmed a navigation within the app. Whenever you open the app, and you will do that later, and press the start button, this happens. And you did it without coding. That is no code, and it's as simple as you can see here in the picture. And then we designed all the different pages with the feedback, correct answer, try again answer, or congratulations, you made it to the end. And we connect all these in this adventure app together. All these screens are designed in the same way. But now let's look on this question page here where these different answers are. We don't want to create a page per question. We want to get that data from a back-end system. And now let's look on how this looks like to connect that to a data. First, we need a data model and a back-end functionality. So let's start defining a database with new entities. We need an information entity, and that consists of fields. One field is the title, and then we have another field, and let's call that the description. So these are the things you are not just doing out of the box. You have a certain citizen development knowledge, but then that is already the definition of a database. Done. Backend ready, and now connect the backend and enable it for your project. So you just tip on enable data entities, then you select that what you want to enable, the information, and then you just enable it. And that's it. No more insights on how do these connections and all these things. It's done. That's super simple, and we did that app in really just that seconds. And now we are adding a trigger at the end. So a new trigger, we call it my API trigger. And this trigger should be run when we are through that whole app and we succeeded. So let's now put in some information. So when the app completed, we have the pickup ID, so the ID, so that ID that you get when you open the app, and that is the input for the trigger. And now let's add an action to that trigger in the next step. And so we choose an email action, so you can send an email action, mail, and that will be going to my colleague Johannes Stehlin. Now can write the email if you want to contact him directly, johannesstehlin@sap.com. So whenever you use the app in a second, then he will get an email, and that's a true story. So you get in contact directly with the developer of that app, And how exciting is that? And there's a text, hello, someone completed and that's what Johannes will get in the email with the idea. And if you now would have your credentials or whatever, then we could contact you. That's not happening now in this demo. So the pickup idea is that thing we choose as the identification. So the one who used that idea just completed, and that's just for testing purposes also on our side. But that's really happening from the back end. It's more actions possible, not only sending emails, but we can also choose from a wide variety of automations, calling external APIs, creating approval forms, or other automations. That is really as simple as just clicking here the things one and enough, and then that's happening. I think you get the concept, and that app really we just did is available, and you will get it at the end of this session here. Where we are currently is we have a controlled environment for build applications. So we are in charge with the Platform Center of Excellence to give really an environment that is safe and secure, can do your applications, play around, and also do them live like we just did. This application is live, available globally, otherwise you would not access it later. It's available for everyone within SAP to develop, so we don't only reduce that to IT guys or to development colleagues. We just think of there are so many superpower colleagues. In their private time, perhaps, they do coding or experiments or whatever, but they have a job like at SAP, they are in marketing doing great presentations or something like this. But they have an idea and they want to try it out, so we give this environment to all employees and enable them via a community approach. So we build that SAP build community within SAP with obviously with a work zone environment, with a web page built with that tool, and we enable and support them with open hours and all these things they need, and gather this continuous improvement via feedback. So we gather that feedback and do a continuous improvement, hackathons, insight sessions, challenges, to really encourage the colleagues. Come on, what do you have for ideas? Try it. This is the reason we gave it to you. Yes, we are experts maybe, but you have the great idea. You are a citizen developer sitting here, can start right away because now you have access to it. Don't wait for a portfolio process or a funding or whatever, just do it. And then, of course, we have to again talk about a stable governance model if you want to have that large scale within the company. Therefore, we are planning already for later the year to establish that governance model, which is not super easy, especially for such a free and open community approach thing, and a scalable environment, which is needed then really to deliver it on a broad scale. More and more business systems integration, so we have a ton of systems at SAP. Think of the power if we get all these citizen developers on top of our products, on our systems internally, what they can improve in the processes. Currently they are experimenting and doing some apps like such an app, which is not a great business impact like a quiz app, but they are also starting on other projects, and we will deliver for large-scale adoption there also the integration needed, and also patterns, let's say best practice patterns, or how we do business systems integration, and that in collaboration also to our colleagues developing that SAP build environment more and more. In general, moving to the cloud offers a lot of benefits. You have that improved scalability, you can reduce your operational costs to rather your faster release cycles and a very short time to market. So this experimentation with that technology and being so everywhere foster innovation, obviously. On the other side, you have to keep in mind the challenges around that. So these new technical expertise that is needed, don't think that is given, because it's super simple, it's no code. Either way, to run that environment, to run it in a stable way, you need new expertise. Expertise, yes, my English is awful. Excuse me for that. So you have to cover that challenge also by setting up the right environment for the people doing and enabling the colleagues, and the mindset shift. Teach the company that not only the super protecting IT guys can deliver something, but everybody suddenly can. This is a democratization process which not everybody in a company really inherit just as given. This is a mindset change, not underestimate this thing. And then also let's talk about business continuity because we have to run a business and it's not always about experimenting and so on. So we need a stability in that. And last but not least, it's all about compliance and security. They are not the guys preventing us for delivery. They are helping us to stay compliant and secure, but sometimes they are slowing down, obviously, or we do not have the right process in place. Then let's look on that. So these are the challenges to overcome, and all of that speaks for a central guidance and governance. And this central guidance and governance sometimes lead to we are defining the rules and you have to ask us and we tell you. And this is not that what we need for this flexibility and this freedom. So this is a real quest to build these innovative applications, and at the same time having that guidance in place. And this striking of the balance between freedom and regulation is key in the whole project. This Platform Center of Excellence acts currently in our setup as the global account owner. So there's no one just can do anything in that environment without centrally being enabled for it. But they enable then a bunch of account owners, and that are the IT business counterparts, the IT business responsibles, and they serve as account owners for their environment, for their developments, and we help them from a central team to do their job properly together with project teams. They are run in an agile mode, delivery according to all these governmental regulations we gave them, and with our enablement. So that is the overall setup. That could be a lot of different units serving as the project team and running together in that agile perspective. Overall, what we are doing in that central team, it's first of all guidelines and processes to really have that account landscape and run that in a proper way. You can't just let everybody have administration rights and all these things. And it's about definition of clear roles and responsibilities. That is the starting point, that we are not discussing these are the things, they are how they are because we are the experts, but in that system you can do whatever you want within the defined guidelines. And then define also a governance process that ensures continuously the accordance to the compliance and the security, and provide a central knowledge base. The enablement part is providing that patterns I talked of, but also newsletters, info sessions, open hours, all these things, consulting. You need people that are open to share, that are eager to share, that are evangelists for their topic. That is really important, and also provide them with the right tools and services, automation in place. So it's also fun to use these things. So how does that journey goes on? After sharing where we are currently, I want to share you the next steps. So we will migrate now further. Existing applications, and 400 is a number, we enable these teams to run their applications in new environments, to really have the full stack of Kyma and ABAP Cloud and Cloud Foundry, and not everything in these old Neo on-premise systems. And we roll out then, in the next step, Build Work Zone globally on a large scale, as well as Mobile Start and other applications like the SAP Task Center as the successor of the Neo Fiori Launchpad further into 2023, as well as investing in more in self-services and compliance tools that help the users to run at its best. And last but not least, continue also the support in that cloud journey, which is also about upskilling the community and continuously work with them. And again, you need the people that are not only proud about their knowledge in that center team, you also have to have evangelists that are happy to share their knowledge and help others. So just some key takeaways for you at the end of the session. Let's say like a giveaway for you for your journey to cloud transformation. You need these key experts and build that team of front runners that are really eager to dive into the technology, give support to the whole organization, and are really excited about these things. If you have that team in place, that is half of the job. And the other half is then really to have a governance model that is in the same time find balancing between compliance and flexibility as the foundation for an effective cloud governance framework. Invest in that to have the right one in place. Don't let only the people talk who say, no, we have to prevent, we have to protect, we have to close that. Don't listen only to the people who say, just let them go, it's all going good. It's not. So find the right balance, invest in that, and most important, start today. It's a long journey, but if you feel the power here and that there's something in, the time is running and we are really on an exponential path. Starting today ensures that you build up that team of experts, that you find the right governance models, and therefore have a successful journey. So thank you so much for your time. I think we are officially nearly at the top of the official hour, but there's time now for questions. And here's the magical QR code. You can directly now scan this QR code if you like, open the app, and that what we just developed in the demo, you get it from our servers because it has been published with this. Hopefully it's working. I also will try it. And you can start with questions if you like. I don't know if we have a microphone or time, but I also tried out. Any questions? I'm around here. Yes, there's one question. There's a microphone. Cool. And for the others who have to go and so on, thank you very much for your interest. It was a pleasure. I will be here. And tomorrow we have a keynote on more insights on how SAP runs SAP. Yes?
Thank you. Probably I came in late, but a key question. We hear that SAP BYD has reached its end of life. Is it true? Thank you.
That is a product-related question that I refuse to answer as the internal IT guy, but that would be a perfect question, I think, for Sven Deniken. He's also around here, so I'm sorry not to tell anybody anything about that. On the one thing, I'm not aware. On the other thing, probably that's not the right guy as an IT guy to share that. So I'm actually not prepared for that question, so that's the honest answer. Okay? Good. I just opened the app, it works for me, so in case you try it out and then go through it, hopefully you know all answers. Yes? Hello? And there's a microphone, cool.
Thanks for the good presentation.
Thank you.
My question is related to mobile strategy.
Yes?
So SAP has given us SDK, MDK, SAP Mobile Start, a lot of tools. According to customers' flexibility, I know we have to go with one. But related to other cloud solutions like SAP Ariba, Fieldglass, SuccessFactors. I know SuccessFactors, if we go with WorkZone SuccessFactor implementation, we can get most of the applications.
Yes.
But what about Ariba, Concur, Fieldglass, to get them on one platform as a mobile application?
A great question. We should address that together as customers of SAP because we also struggle internally with some of these questions. We work heavily with that cloud connector thing, so we are able to deliver applications for our employees to access all these systems from one app. We have several examples for that. For example, there's a great Approve It app. I have it here on my phone as I'm a manager. I get some invoices here. I get some requests for leave off from SuccessFactors. I get some travel requests from Concur, and all they run into one inbox here with push notifications. So I just have to open the app. Actually included also a Tinder swipe, so left and right, so a little bit fun. Approve, 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 deny, approve, deny. So that's just to have some fun also. Great job to be a manager at SAP, but that addressed exactly that problem. We have the connectivity services, but it would be more easy if the product itself themselves are more connected. That is a strategy discussion. We help that internally, soon to come more there, but you are already able to deliver a lot to your employees with these cloud connector capabilities.
Correct, definitely. I do concur with that. With the integration suite, we can do a lot, but we are trying to reduce customization.
Yes.
That's the main strategy.
Yes.
Yeah. So
And we are together on that journey, so let's keep exchanging on that and put the pressure high that we will also get the opportunity there. Because we have exactly the same challenge, and we're currently addressing that with these development approaches for our employees and for the productivity. Thank you.
Thanks. One more question, if you don't
Yes.
mind. SAP Build.
Yes.
SAP Build, no code, low code. It's a very good service. We got it on the platform. the limitation that I did see in SAP Build is we cannot integrate it to SuccessFactors work zone as of now currently. So is there any strategy or releases going forward when we can expect that?
For that, I would contact you from the internal perspective really to Johannes, as he's very close to that, also the line of what's coming up and so on. And on the other side, we have the experts here on the fair, again, colleagues that are coming from the product side, telling there about the roadmap. I'm personally aware that there's coming a lot and a ton, and we can't really head up to implement that already. But concrete answers also, please, that is the downside to being only the IT guy presenting you real insights, how we run at SAP. But at that moment, we are also looking there very close. But we are happy to connect you with the people who are doing that at SAP directly. So just contact me and let's exchange later contacts. And I will promise to provide you the right answer.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Okay. More questions for the whole audience, or should we close the session, I think, in time, nearly? And then if you have questions, just approach me in front. Thank you so much for your time. Hopefully the app is working. Thank you.